One time I was driving and I was getting really tired. So I was searching for a hotel and I found one. So I went in, checked in, got my room keys. I got in my room and I fell asleep. And one person was saying they just could not sleep all night. And I started waking up and I noticed the door was unlocked. I was like, I knew I unlocked it. I don't understand. And there's this man with long sleeves and he's like waving into my room. I'm frightened. I'm like thinking this is the cops. I'm like wondering why they're here. So I open the door and ask, "What are you doing here?" And I see the hotel manager standing next to him. And he quickly comes into my room. He's like, "Turn it off." And he goes to the TV, and there's an alarm clock on the top. He's just fidgeting with all the buttons and turns it off. He said, "Your alarm clock was going off all night." I was so embarrassed. Back in high school, my deaf friend, he had a rifle. He liked to show off with it a lot. And his father said, "Go ahead." And we set up like 3 bottles and we start shooting with the rifle. And his dad arrives back home. And the friend shot the rifle through a window and the glass went everywhere. He got a lot of trouble. In 1999, I was flying into New York and I was really excited. There was nobody sitting next to me on the flight, and I start becoming really tired. So I took my pillow and I put it underneath my feet or my seat, and I get all comfortable. And then I get bothered, so I put my legs kind of in the aisle. And I'm thinking, perfect, I'm comfortable, it's quiet, it's dark. And then somebody taps me on the shoulder and I look up. "Oh, honey, sorry, I'm trying to get through with the cart." And so I move my leg and it's fine, she goes by. It's getting quiet again throughout the night. And another 7 hours go by. And I can't fall asleep, but I don't care. So I'm being careful. So I lay down a few bags. I'm like, I don't care, I just need some sleep. And I get comfortable and I fall asleep. A long time ago, in 1995, there was a farm. They had different vegetables. Green peppers. And we would sit there and plant all the seeds, and it was a lot of work. And watering them. And I suddenly get hit by these 2 bees, and they're following me. And as I'm watering the plants, they're swirling around my head, so I use the water hose and try and get them away while they're swarming around me. But then they finally disappeared, so I feel relieved. Thanks, water. As the sun's going down, I'm finished working for the day. I feel like I've done enough. And I drive back home. And that night, I was so tired, so I went straight to sleep. And then I had a dream. Wow, it was these two bees again, but they were humongous. And they were swirling around my head again, but my water spigot was just squirting out just enough water. And the bees stung me. Even in my dreams, they were just chasing me. So, I have 3 kids. 8, 6, and 3. You know, at the shopping malls they have the escalators, so the kids were very interested in that. And so as we're riding up the escalators, there's some man yelling, and I'm telling them we're deaf. And I'm trying to tell them, like, we can't hear. Why is that man so upset? I'm so sorry, and I try and pull the kids out of the way. Because there's 2 floors, and there's an elevator too, but the kids were interested in the escalator. So I asked them, what's wrong? The oldest, 6 and 5, or 7 and 5. They walk into the elevator as the door's closing. The youngest screams. And then everyone starts staring at us, and it's because we left the youngest and we're in the elevator. And the other 2 were laughing at her. Looking back on the year 1992, it was flying economy. I was flying to many different countries, like China, Italy, and Germany. Started off in Italy. Italy, there's a train track that goes all throughout the city and stops, and you can get off and explore the city. There's this one spot that was really beautiful. So we enter, and we look down, and you can see the whole city. You can see a bunch of flowers, but you gotta understand, there's a lot of hills. So it was time to go explore town. And we had to go on a different type of train, but it wasn't the type of train that we were just on. It just takes you from the top of the mountain from the bottom. And you're going all the way down, and you stop, get off, and then you've arrived. And you see old buildings and all these people, a bunch of restaurants. We're walking, exploring, chatting, signing. And a person just starts staring at us, and we approach them, and they're like, "Are you deaf?" And we're like, "Yeah, we're deaf." And they said that they asked if they were in America, and she grew up here, but she went to America before. And a couple thought that was nice. But it was really nice, so they started following this person around, and they were telling them about the city. I'm thinking the driving in Italy is very crazy. So they get in the car with the stranger, and they're swerving back and forth in the streets, and little tiny streets. But when we arrive, we're meeting so many people from Italy, Germany, all around. And then they are all signing. And it was really confusing seeing all the different sign styles, finger spelling. But it was easier to communicate. That's what we had. But when it started getting darker, discuss a clean, nice way to get home. So I asked our friend, we're really hungry, you want food? All three of us go and buy some food. And then we get back in the car and we're taking our crazy drive back to the railroad restaurant. So I remember explaining how we're traveling, and then it was time to head back to the train. Get back on that crazy car. And we had to take that special train that took us up the mountain to the actual train. So we said our goodbyes, we got on the train. We start heading up. And we see the boy getting smaller, smaller, smaller as he's wading up to us. It was weird. It kind of touched my heart. And now he's disappeared. He's gone. We'll go on the train, wake up, and we'll do it all over again. It feels like a whole new world whenever you got off that train. And then whenever we got back on the train, it was the real world. We were all chatting and discussing. Something seemed weird. You know the camp? You can volunteer, counsel, every day. There's 26 girls. Girls are getting ready, and they're settling in. First, there's exercise every day, and then we go along. Plus, they don't listen. And then they go swimming, but it's cold, but they don't care. It's their idea of a shower. So, what's the positives of going to this camp? Is there a medal? You can try, but it's not work. Explain to them that we're both deaf. At night, go to sleep, fall in the bunk beds. It's 5 o'clock in the morning. We're 50 girls. Oh, so 6:30, they all finish getting ready, and then they all go out for the day. And they all run to get some breakfast. My jaw dropped. Finally, we can dance, we can jump, we play around. But I didn't realize they were waiting. Well, what's up? Thank you, it wasn't really clear. It was funny how they were all running and their hearts were pounding, all lined up. Where's the other boys? They completely disappeared. Fine. He starts getting angry. You finish yet? See, we'll wait. Okay. The girl. They all start running, and I'm climbing. Last year, go to a ward. They were trying to control the world. We couldn't have it. So people all went over to setting up camps. There was a bunch of soldiers lined up. A bunch of barricades. An army was all laid across there. And there was these two deaf soldiers. They wanted to join, but they couldn't. The other side had a deaf soldier. You know you're famous. Comes up to me. Uncle Sam comes up to me. How many rockets have we sent? How many? I want to know. At night, the moon was beautiful, but the army, it would still be coming back, and they would, because if they collide, the war would get ugly. And they're looking at each other eye to eye. Come on, talk. But they realize they're both deaf. 1 hour, 2 hours go by. And he says, I'm deaf. Well, I'm deaf too. And they put down their guns and they just start chatting and discussing deaf culture and everything with ASL. And they really enjoyed sharing stories. And soldiers, you must. Army searching for them, but then they saw all the deaf people sitting there chatting it up. What's up? Jail. The army's feeling like, you should. Come on, I keep thinking, and I decide I'm gonna just write a note. Enter the flag. And they're reading it. And he's deaf? He's thinking. Walks to the window and he sees the flag. He sits at his desk and he writes him back a letter. Sends it over to that person's way. He informed that them two can go to Gallaudet. Except he has to be free in the country.